And for more, I'm joined by Danielle, Kane, and Jerry Pinksen, two survivors of the Danforth shooting. And I appreciate both of you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
I've seen some interviews with you both over the last few days, and I wondered if you dreaded this day.
I wouldn't say we've dreaded it. I would just say that, it's a day we've been, I guess, looking at as just another reminder of the struggle that we've been through and that others have been through. And it's a good time for us to kind of come together as a community to just pay a memorial to those who've passed and their families.
And support the people that are still here.
Jerry and Danielle, you both rushed to help. The second that you heard there were shots out there, you're both in the medical professions, you went to help, and Danielle, you're now paralyzed. And when you look back on that night, do you ever wish you hadn't gone in that direction?
I mean, I've definitely gone over my thought process that day, and the thing is, as much as I can say I wish I hadn't, I would have still made the same decisions. I mean, there's, like, hindsight is 20/20, of course, but I can't imagine making a different decision than the one I did that day.
Jerry, what's been the hardest thing for you this last year? Watching Danielle struggle or feeling anger or sadness at the unfairness of it all?
The thing with me, it's been tough just sometimes not being able to help with her pain, not be able to help make her day easier. Like, I try my best, but sometimes it's just, there's nothing we can do. We just try to sit with it. And when you can't help your partner, it feels very hard on you, and it's difficult, but we rely on each other, we support each other, and we're just surprised about how resilient we've been.
Yeah.
I've heard you speak, Danielle, about your thoughts on the man who shot you, and we heard the police officer say there's no clear answer as to why this happened, but it seems like his mental health struggles were a factor. You've expressed sympathy for him, and I think a lot of people find that so generous.
Yes, well, I mean, if you look at his history, it was obvious that he struggled for a very long time, from the time that he was a child. And, I can only imagine what it must have been like to be him and struggling so much and not having that help. And, he grew up into a 29-year-old just obsessed with violence, and I think that he fell through the cracks because there were so many times when he was flagged for further follow-up, and that did not happen. So yeah, I think there needs to be major changes to our mental health care system.
Jerry, I know that you haven't purposely gone down to the area again, but you came across it by happenstance as you were dropping some friends off one night. What went through your mind when you were back at literally the scene of the crime?
Well, Danielle said something the other day was really poignant. It was that we've come so far. Like, we think back to that moment where one moment we were having carefree enjoyment with our friends at a birthday dinner, and then the next moment our life was turned upside down. And starting from there to where we are now, it kind of just makes us think, like, wow, like, look how far we've come. Look how well Danielle's been doing with the circumstances that we've been dealt with. So it filled us with a little bit more internal strength when we were there.
But you're not attending the vigil tonight, Danielle. How come?
I think we decided we wanted to kind of share that moment privately. We've done a lot of, public speaking, and we've shared a lot of our story with the news media and things like that. And, like, we just need some time alone to kind of process this together.
Understandable, of course. And again, we're grateful for you speaking to us today. It amazes me when people speak out. I've lost someone dear to me in a tragic accident, and I dread the anniversary. That's why I ask you how you feel, because there's always this attention on this one day where you have to be nice to people, and sometimes you just don't want to be nice to people.
Yeah.
But but it's also with this event, we always remember how the community responded to the event itself. So after we remember the people who lost their lives that day, Reese and Juliana, and then the other survivors, we also look to say how strong the community was and how they reacted from such a tragic event. It kind of makes us proud to be Canadian and be a Torontonian and live in such a somewhat safe and fair community.
Well, I express great admiration for you, as I'm sure many people do. Tell me what is next for Danielle and Jerry over the next month or two?
Well, right now we're kind of in the midst of renovating our house and moving to Oshawa. So we're actually going to be in an Airbnb for a little while the renovation happens. So yeah, it's just a lot of organization and things like that.
And it's a home specially fitted for you, Danielle, correct?
Yes, I'm hoping that, I'll have that wheel-in shower and a fully accessible bathroom that I need, and also wider hallways and things like that.
And Jerry, you're hoping to go back to school?
No, so we got the house and we're hopefully make it fully wheelchair accessible so we can prepare for Danielle to go back to nursing school in Oshawa. She completed 1 year already, so we thought it would be best for her to be near school so she could easily go to school and be independent. As our only goal is just to help Danielle navigate this world as independent as possible, and I want to support that whichever way I can.
Well, we send you our best thoughts, and again, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Oh,
Thank you for having us.